The final unsigned franchise tag player got done this week. Trey Smith did a 4-year, $94 million deal. The obvious first piece of this in that contract getting done is that it does move the guard market. He becomes the highest paid guard at $23.5 million per year. That's good for all the guards across the NFL. It's rare that a guard or center is tagged because the offensive line tag is a catch-all. The offensive line tag is based on what the top tackles make. So generally guards and centers don't wind up getting tagged. He did get tagged. So the fact that he did get tagged gave gave Trey Smith's side some leverage. They were able to use it. They were able to move the guard market forward. That's good for all the great guards across the NFL. So that's number one. Number two, it does highlight where the Chiefs are on the offensive line. I think the Chiefs offense has a chance to be better this year than it was last year. I think based on where they are at the skill positions, I think that's very clear. Rashee Rice, they believe he can be a top 10 receiver in the NFL this year as their slot guy. They think he was trending that way last year before he got hurt. Hollywood Brown, they didn't get the full version of him last year because of injury. Rice and Brown never played together because Rice got hurt within the first month of the season. Brown, of course, was out for the first 3 months or so of the season. He came back in December. So now this vision they have for Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy on the outside. By the way, Worthy should be a little bit better because now he has his rookie year under his belt. Those guys running downfield, clearing out space for Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice underneath. I love the idea of it. They've got some depth at tight end with guys like Noah Gray and this rookie, Jake Briningstool. Keep an eye on him. Isaiah Pacheco comes back healthy. He's playing for a contract. Love what they have at the skill spots. So to me, what this comes down to for the Chiefs is that offensive line. Trey Smith was such a big part of it. This worked the way that you would draw it up with Joe Thuney and Trey Smith, is that you drafted Trey Smith, you signed Joe Thuney. Eventually, Trey Smith wound up becoming the replacement from a contractual standpoint for Joe Thuney. So you trade Joe Thuney so you can pay Trey Smith. You hope now that Kingsley Suamataia, moving in from tackle to guard, will be the Trey Smith in this equation, with Trey Smith now becoming the Joe Thuney. You're really solid on the inside, I think, is the result of this, as long as Kingsley works out there with Creed Humphrey, maybe the best center in football, anchoring that group on the interior. What happens at tackle? To me, that's a swing factor. Now you got the inside of your line taken care of. What happens at the tackle position? Is it Josh Simmons at left tackle? Is it Jalen Moore at left tackle? Is Juwan Taylor still the right tackle? From those three players, you're going to have to get two. And I think there's a really good chance they're better at tackle than they were a year ago because they got so desperate last year. Whether it was Wanye Morris or Kingsley Suamataia or Joe Thuney moving out to left tackle, they really had to manage that position. Now they got a potential long-term answer in Josh Simmons, a very effective stopgap in Jalen Moore if he needs to be that. They paid him $15 million a year. He was a good fill-in for Trent Williams when needed. And then over at right tackle, you got Juwan Taylor, who, if Simmons wins the left tackle job, maybe you got more competing with Taylor for the right tackle spot. Either way, I think there's a good chance you come out with a better situation at tackle that you had a year ago. And again, added to what I already went over at the skill positions, I think the Chiefs have a chance to be better on offense than they were a year ago, and they were in the Super Bowl a year ago. Again, the Chiefs team has a chance to be better overall, with the X factor being the age of Kelce, the age of Chris Jones. You don't know where those things are going to go, but it's still a really good roster, a really good team. And you got the best quarterback in football at the controls in Patrick Mahomes.